Good morning. It is May 5th. This is Ask a Traffic Cop, and I am Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable here with the Toronto Police Service, and I work out of the Traffic Safety Programs Office. It means that I sit at a chair in front of a desk that has cameras, and I talk to you. What do we do here? We answer your traffic and police questions. That's really what we do. We talk about some other stuff, too, and I have a bunch of things to talk about today because, just things happening.
Camera?
What's that? Inverting my camera is one of those things that if Q doesn't mention it, sometimes I forget. Boom, there we go. The words now read correctly. It's not pots, it's stop. Okay. So we've got some things to unpack, but I want to get to your questions so we can answer them as quickly as possible. Now, if you don't already follow us, please do. If you haven't already shared this and retweeted it and forwarded it to friends and family, please do, because the more the merrier. We'd love to have everybody at the party where we get to answer their questions. But let's start off with Vision Zero Enforcement Team. That is a magical group of humans that go and work to make the roads safer in the city of Toronto. Today they are in 11 Division and 51 Division. Those are the neighborhoods of Junction, Weston, High Park, Ronsonsvale, St. Jamestown, Cabbagetown, Riverdale, Church and Yonge neighborhoods. Those are the communities that, I'm glad they're here. Hey, safe communities, you're here. We should try and connect before the end of the day. Let's do that. Let's get you into our live today. I came into your live yesterday, but I need to, I couldn't get your attention. I was dancing. Nobody saw me. Okay, so what is Vision Zero Enforcement Team? They are a group of enforcement officers. See, they don't go out and give hugs. They don't give warnings. They give tickets. They charge people for the offenses that they're caught committing. And I was watching the chief speak at a police services board meeting. I think it was a police services board meeting. In any case, he was talking about the fact that we have different types of vehicles that we use. We have marked vehicles, unmarked vehicles, and we have stealth vehicles. And those are the ones that are the coolest to me. And why do we have them? Well, we are able to observe drivers behaving in the wild, when they don't know they're being observed, when they do the things that they would do normally, and then we get to catch them. Is it entrapment? People always ask. No, you're doing things on your own volition, choosing to drive dangerously, choosing to put people's lives at risk, and that's when we want to catch you doing what you're doing and change your behavior with the ticket. Take care, Asif. My partner in the office is going away somewhere. He didn't disclose where. It's probably more fun than where we are. But actually, who are we kidding? This is the most fun you can have, and we're doing it live. Okay, if you have questions, use the Q&A function. That is how I will see your question. If you don't use the Q&A function, I won't see it. It just goes into the chat. Now, I did see Tracy MF say good morning just now because I glanced over there. But as soon as I get into the Q&A function, it's gonna cover up all this stuff. So let's get into it. Oh, and actually, one last thing before we get into your Q&A, and I'm sorry to keep you holding with other stuff, but here's the deal. Last night there was a collision. It was a failed to remain collision. In other words, one of the parties left the scene of the accident, the collision, and they didn't leave any information. And the person that they struck is in serious life-threatening condition. They're in the hospital, but we don't know who hit them. So if you have information, we'd love you to help us. If you were at where was it? It was Toro Road. I've got this all wrong. Let's see here. It was. I'm going to play the video from the.
On Wednesday, May 4th, just after 11.
I want to get the Keel. I edited the subtitles. I should know this. Keel and Toro Road around 11:15 last night. It was an e-bike rider who was struck from behind by what is described as a black vehicle, who then continued along their way without stopping to help. So there's a number of charges that driver is eligible for, because you have to stop, you have to check on the person that you struck. There's serious, serious charges if you don't. There's all sorts of things, other reasons why they may have taken off. Who knows what happened? But a black vehicle was seen fleeing the scene, and if you have any dash camera footage, if you have any witness information, if you've seen a black vehicle with damage to the front that looks fresh, and maybe you're a body shop owner, you're a mechanic, and someone's approached you with this vehicle with damage, please contact police. You can get investigators here at 416-808-1900. That's 416-808-1900. Alternatively, if you want to give us information anonymously, you can call 1-800-222-TIPS. They're also on Instagram, and ever it's Toronto Crime Stoppers. You can make reports anonymously through them. And I understand not everybody wants to call police and get involved, but if you have information that can help us locate this driver and the vehicle they were driving, we would very much appreciate the assistance. And the gentleman, I think it was a male 41 years old who was struck, I'm sure he would appreciate it too. Let us get into questions. Q&A, here we go. Using that bubble with the question mark on Instagram or on TikTok. We'll get it in front of me. If you're watching on our other platforms, because we're also broadcasting onto YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and did I say Twitter? LinkedIn, Twitter? Yeah, we're everywhere. We're absolutely everywhere. The only problem is if you're on Twitter, you can't ask us questions. I'm very sorry. Come over to YouTube or any of the other platforms to get directly to us. Just to acknowledge some of my friends, Big Jeff Fresh coming in through Twitch says, ahoy, hoy, ahoy, hoy. Good morning. Live Unit 975 says, good morning. Caitlin Grattan says, good morning, Sean and Q. Happy Friday Eve. Very good call. It's Friday Junior in my books, but I'll take Friday Eve. Are there calls where cops don't use their lights and sound but still speed? I saw a cop use his lights at an intersection, then turn them off and sped away. That's a great question, and this is now question number one of the day. Absolutely, there are many times that we exceed the speed limit lawfully because we're allowed to exceed the speed limit in Ontario. Police, fire, and ambulance all can, but police can do it when we are not actively assigned to a call. So if we're doing speed enforcement, we can activate we can exceed the speed limit because we're trying to get ahead of the next vehicle. If we're doing enforcement, we're looking for people who are using their cell phones. We're not stuck in the one position. We could also be going to a 911 call with our lights off because it's often safer to do that than to hit those lights and sirens and have people stopping directly in front of us thinking we're trying to pull them over. Wild and crazy things happen when we hit those lights, and it's not always the best option given the surroundings. We make that evaluation on the go. Now, if we need to clear traffic, we need you to get out of the way to move traffic. They're traffic clearing lights. Then we activate our lights and continue doing what we do. As far as going through an intersection with our lights on and turning them off again, perfectly good reason for that. It's because we are legally required to use our lights and sirens in order to go through a red traffic signal. We are responsible for everything we do when we're driving, just like a regular driver, except when we're in our intersection, we're absolutely, without question, responsible. If we're going through an intersection with lights and sirens and it results in a collision, it's all on us. Very heavily scrutinized, us police people we are. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question, and let's get into a TikTok question because there's tons coming in. Tons, I say. Can you move an oversized load without a permit? My understanding is oversized load require a permit, especially in the city of Toronto, and proper lead and tail vehicles depending on the size. I don't have the details on the requirements, but if you call our offices, you can get information either from the city of Toronto or the Toronto Police. We can direct you to our CVSA people who can help you. Can my motorcycle helmet be tinted? The helmet is actually opaque. You can't see through it, but the visor, yes, you can. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Dad joke time. Yeah, you can tint your visor, and you can flip it up, no different than sunglasses. When I was a kid, I grew up thinking I couldn't, and I actually invested in clear and tint so I could change them out. I prefer not getting hit in the eye with stuff, so I wanted to have my visor down, and I opted to wear a clear visor on my helmet with a pair of sunglasses so I could, not wear them when I didn't need them. But thanks for asking, and thank you for, I recognize your profile. I think you, what's it called, duetted one of our videos about motorcycle stuff. So thank you very much, and glad to have you here with us. Let's see here. Duncan says, is it illegal to be as handsome as you? You know what? I got a permit. It was issued. It's all above board, but thank you very much. My wife agrees with you. Okay.
Do you have the button that makes the puke sound?
No, that's not puke, but that's, yeah. Okay. Chassis says, good morning, Sean. If the plates and ownership are in a business name, not an individual, who signs it? That's a really good question. I imagine it's a signature, someone was signing authority for the company, I would assume. But it's a good question, and I actually don't have an answer because no one's ever asked me that before. Well, thanks for throwing me a curve. No, it's good. I like that. I'm going to look it up and find out. We'll talk about it again. Maybe do a video about it. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Okay. What is this? I have an off-topic question. If I have a car in my name and I transfer it to my wife's name to be her property, do I need to pay taxes? Okay, there's some guesses here, but if you gift a car, you can actually transfer to a family member, I think for $1 or something like that. I believe there are some exemptions, so while Live Unit says you have to pay taxes, I believe you can gift it to somebody and they wouldn't pay taxes in that situation. If you gift it to somebody outside of your family, I believe they could be charged taxes. But at the end of the day, talk to the Ministry of Transportation, they will give you the details on that. Okay. What if I need prescription glasses to drive? Then you should get those, because if you can't see and you have a requirement to wear glasses, you can be charged for driving in contravention of a condition. So if you do an eye test and they say you must wear glasses and you do not wear glasses, well, then you're both going to be checked in the event of a collision, and we're going to find that you weren't wearing the appropriate eyewear and thus it'll be noted in the report, making you more liable potentially. But you can be charged for driving in contravention because the license with an X on it says you must wear them when you're driving. Okay. So Q did some quick typing in the googly goo and came back and said you may be allowed to transfer ownership of your vehicle to a family member without paying any retail sales tax. There you go. And there's a list of people: common law spouse, parent, step parent, grandparent, step grandparent. Wow, it's a long list. There's a whole bunch of people. So there is a means to an end for transferring ownership. And your question answered, even though I didn't know it. Q made it possible. Thank you so much for looking that up. And that brings me to mentioning the fact, and I haven't mentioned to them recently, we have amazing moderators here. We have folks who are volunteers, not paid members, not police officers. They are members of the community out there with you who have contacted us. Some of us were voluntold, as I'm often reminded, but they've made themselves available to help us in and our community sharing this information about traffic safety. Which reminds me, please share this live if you're on Twitter, YouTube, any of the web-based things. Please share it on your socials. We really appreciate you helping us spread the awareness and the fact is, not everybody knows that they can have access to a police officer for an hour, Monday to Friday, getting their stuff answered. And you know what? If you're asking this question, other people are asking this question too. I know we get tons of email and contact thanking us for doing this. That's what we're here for. We're here to be available to answer your questions. And it's way better than being able to simply call and have a conversation one-on-one with somebody, because it gets busy here. You may not be able to get that kind of detail or may not get someone who knows the answers. But here you do. Hey, Sipu is here. We have members of the service who are popped in to say hello. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm a new permanent resident, and I want to buy a car in my name and have international driving license. Can I buy a car in my name, or do I have to have a Canadian license? Okay, every province is going to be different, but if you are a new permanent resident and you're buying a car here, you can buy a car. But I got news for you: if you're a resident here, you can't use your international driver's license beyond I believe 60 days. You're allowed to use it, but you should be applying for a local license. And before you invest in a car, make sure that you're going to be legally able to operate it. Your international, it really just means your foreign license. International license is a translation card. Contact the Ministry of Transportation before you invest in a vehicle, because they may not give you a straight trade for your license. They may not give you any added, we call it experience credit. So you may not be able to drive here after you transfer from your international driver's license. But again, it's going to become a situation where that license, your foreign license, will not be valid here after a period of time. So for your benefit and to ensure that you can get proper insurance and so on, and that you're all on the up and up, contact the Ministry of Transportation. There are a number of websites that detail different countries and what the relationship is in terms of giving you credit for your license. So this is great that you brought it up, Hussein, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope it works out for you. Okay. When do speed cameras get triggered? 1 kilometer and over, question mark? The deal is, it depends on the jurisdiction you're in. It depends on the municipality, because it is the municipality that will set their cameras. They belong to them. It's not the police that enforce this. It is the individual municipality. What is it in Toronto? Wouldn't you like to know? Well, actually, so would I, but I don't. And they tell me that, or they don't tell me that, so I can't tell you. At the end of the day, we don't want you speeding. That's why those cameras are there. So telling you that it's 5, and I'm not telling you it's 5, I'm just making it up as a number. If I said it was 5, then everyone would do 5 over. That's not acceptable. You should not be doing anything over the speed limit. Okay. And I know a lot of people disagree with me. People say, it's not a big deal, a little bit, a couple of kilometers. It is a big deal, because what happens is one person goes 1 kilometer, the next person does 2. Suddenly people are doing 10 and 20 over, and why do we have speed limits if no one's following them? I don't know. So follow them. They're there for a reason. Here's a great question that came in, and it's coming through on Instagram Live. How come it's illegal to not drive without shoes when you can wear flip-flops and it's legal? Okay, you spun me around a little bit here on your question. The truth is, it's not illegal to drive barefoot. You are allowed to drive barefoot. You're allowed to wear flip-flops. There is no footwear requirement in Ontario. There may be different requirements in other jurisdictions, but not here. And what can I tell you about that? Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's safe. If you hammer down on that brake pedal in an emergency situation and your toes, well, they hurt, they bend backwards. It's not a solid platform. It depends on where you make contact. It's just not a good idea. Now, what happens if you get into a collision and there's broken glass and you've got to walk through burning fires? I don't know. Barefoot isn't a good idea. nor are flip-flops, which often get jammed beneath pedals and prevent you from depressing, the ones that make you stop. So I would strongly suggest wearing shoes or something that has a heel strap so that you have a secure connection to your footsie, and then go from there. Hey, if you haven't already done this, tap the screen until your fingers go numb. That shows the Instagram and TikTok algorithm that you like us. It brings more people to the party. And for anyone who's watching and has no idea who this bald guy on the screen is, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service, and I talk about traffic and police and law and general stuff. So yeah, you should follow us. And if you don't, please do. And yeah, tell your friends. People really appreciate when you do nice things for them. You know what's nice? Sharing our stream with them. Yep, they will think you are a better person for it. Let's see here. Boom. Is there a loud exhaust campaign in effect? We're always looking for people who are violating the law. It doesn't matter what the law is. If you're breaking it and we see it, we do something about it. It's, see something, say something, except we actually write something. The deal is that if you're littering with sound, if you're creating unnecessary noise, or annoying everybody, because that's generally what happens. We have tons of people from the community, people who live adjacent to the highway. They hear you all day and night. They don't like you, and they make it known to us that we need to do our jobs, and they pay the taxes which go into to pay for the police. So we're kind of tied to that whole concept of enforcing laws that negatively impact the community. Not that we wouldn't do it anyway. I'm just making a joke. Okay. The deal is, if you are creating noise that is well above what is permitted, whether it be by modification, damage, or defect, or simply by way of behavior. So you're doing 9,000 RPMs, but you're only doing 20K, or you're revving, that's all unnecessary. While a 12-cylinder Lambo might be idling and it may have a wonderful sound, it may be perfectly legitimate to have that sound. But if they wind it up and let it scream, that would be the unnecessary part. I'm trying to paint a picture here. I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. In any case, yeah, we're always writing those tickets, and you may find that it's the season where more will be written, not because it's a campaign, just because there's an influx of people on the road with modified cars that were put away for the winter. What is this? What is this? What is that? What is where? I did. Oh, thank you very much. Live Unit 975 shared the YouTube link. Much appreciated. Akela Draconis says, greetings and salutations. Got to post and run meetings. I'll catch you on the rewind. Very cool. And that's a good point. If you missed this live, or you can't wait for the whole thing, but you want to see it, if you're on TikTok, it's gone once it's finished. But if you go onto our YouTube page, which is Traffic Services Toronto Police, all of them, every single one is archived there forever and ever and ever. It's also available on our Twitter page, on our Facebook page, on our Twitch page. They're all archived. Well, actually, Twitch goes away because we're not partners on Twitch. But, you can always go back and review. And maybe one day you'll be able to search for individual details. But right now, you can watch the hours and hours and hours. And we've been doing this for almost, when did we start doing the Ask a Traffic Cop on YouTube? Good question. I'll have to go back. But this is definitely season 2. In any case, let's get on to another question. What is this? Would you recommend getting into law enforcement? I most certainly would. If you want to work in law enforcement, if you want to be an accountant, be an accountant. It's not for everybody. It's not an easy job. There's a lot of stress, that's involved with it. We see there are people who are made for this, I think, and there are people who do it who don't want to do it, but they do it anyway because it's a good job. It takes all kinds. At the end of the day, if you want to give back to your community, this is a fantastic way to do it. You can help people who need help. You can, be in a position where every day is unique, and every day, and a career that lasts, 30 plus years doesn't always have to feel the same way. Every day is different. Every call is different, and you can get into different specialties. I'm in traffic, but there are people who are in canine, who are in forensics. There's tons of specialties, and that means a lot of opportunity. If you are interested in becoming a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, I'd like to let you know that we are hiring. You can get more information about what the requirements of the job are by visiting www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers. All sorts of information. And you know what? We're not only hiring police officers, parking officers, special constables, and civilians. There's a ton of civilians that make it possible for us to do what we do as police officers by either dispatching for us, and really they run the show. They tell us where to go. But we have tech support. We have all sorts of people. And since we're on the topic of telling you where to go, check out harleyraffle.ca. That's www.harleyraffle.ca. It's harleyraffle.ca. There we go. So why am I promoting a raffle for a motorcycle? Because it supports the Special Olympics Ontario, and you could win a Harley Davidson, a 2021, I believe, Street Glide. There's only 7,000 tickets, 1 for 20, 3 for 50, available there. Get them before they're gone. Let's move on. Okay, Q put up the abbreviated tps.on.ca careers/careers page. Need water, must hydrate before I educate. Okay. Yes, I needed that. That was a big gulp. Okay. Hussein wants to know, can I drive my friend's car without the car being in my name or the insurance, but everything's in my friend's name? If the vehicle in Ontario is an Ontario vehicle and it's insured and you are not excluded, so you're a properly licensed driver who's legally allowed to operate a motor vehicle in the province, you are qualified for that vehicle in that you have the appropriate type of license, and you don't. It could be an insurance issue if they don't want anyone under a certain age, or they say only named people can drive. That's up to the insurance company. But legally, if you have a license that allows you to operate it, you can, regardless of the fact that it's not in your name. You can borrow it. I will tell you this: if you abuse it, if you are regularly operating it, when you are not just a occasional borrowing of the car, and the insurance company finds out, they will deny you a claim. So you would be told that the car will not be repaired. It will be bad day at the office for you or for the vehicle owner. Make sure you get the blessings from the insurance company. And if it means paying something to be listed on the insurance policy, that is far smarter than just risking it to save a few dollars. Okay. Are you allowed, what is this? Are you allowed to modify a sports car with loud exhaust? We talked about exhaust just a moment ago, but you can have a modified exhaust. You can't have one that creates unnecessary noise. You cannot take out a muffler or a resonator to make it louder. That's just not something that you can do. It would be, if you make it an improper exhaust, it would then come with a ticket for $110 for being improper or having no muffler or whatnot. And additionally, the noise charge is another $110. So it could get expensive. And if you continue to do it, we may forego the ticket that says pay $110. We may send you with a summons to court to go directly to court to explain to a judge or JP why you can't follow the rules. Let's see here. Are you allowed to modify... I feel like the same questions. And in fact, it's the same person jumping between two platforms to get your question heard. Please don't do that. Please wait your turn. We do our best to get to everybody. But if you jump around, we'll remember you. You stand out from the crowd, creative as it is. Okay. What is this? Can I use my nighttime running lights in daytime? Nighttime running lights? I'm not aware of what a nighttime running light is. You have your headlights, and those can be used any time of the day or night. You have the option of daytime running lights in the daytime, but at nighttime, those are high beam bulbs. They're running on low power, and actually, you can't use those at night because that's not how it works. Headlights at night, you got to use your proper headlight system for the time of the day, but you can run your full headlight system 24/7. You're welcome to do that. I have a laser pointer. Is it illegal? I would suggest not eating it, and don't put it in anything. What do you mean? Laser pointers are not illegal. Shining it in someone's eyes, because a laser can damage the eyes, it could be assault charges in relation to that. So don't shine it in people's eyes. There's also very high-powered lasers that some people have decided to wave at things they shouldn't and interfere with traffic and cause damage, and potentially hurt people, cause collisions. So obviously, the use of those could result in criminal charges if used for mischief or whatnot. If you're using it to point at the board and talk about the presentation you're giving, that is a legal and proper use. Is Ontario going to require annual safeties? It's something that I've been hearing about. I've not heard it being announced or at this time, but it's certainly something they might do. And I think it should be done to some level, verification that you are complying with the rules. It would certainly stop people from putting on illegal tints on their vehicles or lowering it or raising it beyond what is legal and safe. And we have a lot of vehicles out there that are unsafe. People who put wide tires that are improper on their vehicle, and no one checks after they buy the car, and no one cares until they sell the car. Truth is, it's still illegal. So yeah, I think that if it did go that way, I'd be a big supporter of it, assuming it didn't cost me every time I had to do that. Who knows? Can you show proof of insurance on your phone? Yes, assuming the insurance company that you deal with gives you an electronic access to one, so an app that provides the information. And you got to make sure that you have charge in your phone, because if you get pulled over by police and you say, my insurance is right here in my phone, but my phone is dead, unfortunately, the ticket will still be issued. Okay. The piece of paper works for me. It's in my wallet. It lives there. Is putting 1,000 horsepower in your car illegal? No, as long as it maintains safety requirements, and all the emissions requirements, then just because it's powerful doesn't make it illegal. Modifying a car, if the modifications are legal, is permitted. Tarank says, my question was removed by the host. I don't know. I saw something pop away from the screen. I don't know what your question was, but I have moderators who help me, and if they saw something that was inappropriate, they may have deleted it. Equally, it may have been done by accident. So I don't know what your question was. Let's see here. Can I do a ride along with you? I'm riding, this is where I ride. I don't go on the road. I was injured in a collision. I'm not yet, back to, oops, wrong button. I'm not yet back to the level of functional ability. I don't know what it's called. I don't go on the road. So if one day in the future when I do, and I hope I do, I don't know if I'll be taking people on the road. That'll be up to management. How legal is tinted taillights or headlights? Tinted taillights, if they are meeting the standard required, may be legal, although I don't think it's a good idea or wise or smart or however you want to frame that. Taillights tell people when you're stopping. If they don't function the way they're designed, you don't communicate that message, which is kind of important to people who are behind you, which may result in a collision, which after investigation may result in you being charged for having the modifications. Maybe your insurance company may not cover you for the damage sustained in that collision. Now, headlights are absolutely illegal to modify. You can't put tint on them. You cannot put covers on them. That is a specific charge under the Highway Traffic Act, so don't do that at all. I really do suggest against touching your taillights too, because we call those things clues. Yes. As they say, the cool kids say, a murdered out car where it's all blacked out and looks good. It looks slick. I will not deny that a car with everything, monochromatic and stealth-like, yeah, it looks awesome. Just not legal and not safe. So don't use it on the road. Show cars that never see the road, hey, go nuts. Let us see here. I have no idea what that question means, so I'm going to skip it. What's my McDonald's order? Quarter pounder with cheese, my favorite go-to since I was a kid. That would be my my McDonald's order. But I have not. I try and avoid the big golden arches as much as I can, although it's so good and so convenient. But anyway. Function of what is this? Function of red light cameras turn right on red. If you come to a complete stop, a red light camera is not going to get you on a right turn because you are doing what's legal. You come to a complete stop, you do not make your turn until it's safe to do so, and that is a legal thing, so it won't stop you. If you're proceeding through a light and you fail to stop, that's when a red light camera will give you a ticket. And just because we're on the red light camera topic, it is going to be a ticket that is issued against the license plate, and it is a responsibility of the registered owner to pay for it. It does not go on your driver's license. It is not a violation that affects your driving record. It is the reason for it is to influence your behavior so you don't break the law, and it is for everyone's safety that you don't run red lights. Thus, it's a good thing. And I'd love to see more red light cameras and speed cameras installed everywhere. I think that's the only way that we can get people to follow the rules when police aren't around, right? We can't be everywhere all the time. And unfortunately, when the cat's away, the mouse will play. Can you license any dirt bike? No, only bikes that are certified for use on the road, that are dual purpose, that have signals and headlights and all that jazz, are permitted to be on the road. So if it can't be registered, you can't use it. Let's see here. Can you track threats made in TikTok live comments? Are you waiting to find out if you can threaten me? Actually, yes, we can report these things to TikTok. TikTok has an investigative branch that works closely with police. They're a fantastic platform. I'm very proud and happy to be involved with them because they are very serious about the safety of their users. They are very serious about the messaging that takes place here. So if you're harassing somebody or if you're threatening somebody, those things can be relayed to police. They can be tracked. They can block a user. They can do a lot of things. It's their platform, and you have to follow the rules while you're here. But it is very cool. And as Q says, they can device lock you. So that means that they can block it so that the phone that you own can never be used on their platform again. Even if you create a new one, or just block out the whole thing. Is it legal to tint your front side windows? Tint your front side windows. So the windows directly left and right of the driver. Hold on. So the deal is that I love buttons. So the deal is that you can tint them, but no more than 30% light blockage can be used. So you can't go out and put 5% on there. It's not safe. It's not legal. You can be charged for two things. You can be charged for preventing us from seeing inside. It's called obscure interior of motor vehicle with colored or reflective tint. So if you do that for the windows left and right of the driver, that is illegal. If it's too dark, that's one charge. But it's also unsafe if you go over 30%, which means we can take your license plates, return them to the ministry, require you to get a safety inspection before you can get your plates back, or at least reapply for new plates. And that's a thing. Front windshield cannot have any tint if you're in Ontario. If your vehicle was manufactured before 2017, you can have up to a 3-inch tint strip across the top, a sun strip, a brow, whatever you want to call it. That's across the top, outside of the driver's view, really. But 2017 and newer vehicles, nothing on the windshield. That seems to really bother people. And there is no, medical exemption for tint in Ontario. You can't get my eyes hurt. There's things called sunglasses. You can use those. And much as I appreciate that, people may have severe sensitivity to light, some people have skin sensitivity. You could get a UV coating, and most modern vehicles have UV coatings already. So bright light does not equate to burning skin. It's temperature, and I understand reducing solar load is also a real thing. So there may be legitimate reasons to have it. Unfortunately, the safety of the people using the road, vulnerable users, even yourself as a driver, come first. Hey, if you like what you see, if you, not me, the background, if you like the content that we produce, please follow us. Please share our content with friends, family, even people you don't like. The reason that we're here is to share information, to dispel the misconceptions, and there's so many of them. People misunderstand the laws out there. We want to make sure that you don't get tickets if you are, doing something that you just didn't understand. We want to make sure if you're doing something, you're doing it by choice, and we'll give you a ticket then. We have a lot of people who are spamming. I don't know why. I guess they don't like the police or something, or being told what the rules are, or being held responsible for the things they do. And what they do is they come in here and they harass other people in the chat. I don't see it. I don't care, except for the fact that you're offending and making it difficult for other people in the room. So, hey, and Q mentioned we need a subscriber. We actually had 1,000 followers on YouTube last night, and then somebody unsubscribed, I guess, or maybe it was a bot, and we went from 1,000 to 999. Listen, I'm still happy with 999, but we just hit 1,000. We'd like to get to 10,000. Okay, maybe that's a jump. If you don't already follow us on YouTube, please do. That's where you can get archives of this entire live and all the lives we've done. And we also have a podcast show that doesn't go on TikTok. It's called TPS Traffic Jam. It is available on podcast platforms. We have 3 episodes currently recorded and available there. Those are also available on a playlist on YouTube. And what is the point of that? Well, indifferent than when it's just me talking or speaking to you and answering your questions, that's actually interviewing people who are involved in the industry, in traffic safety, in stuff and things that might make your life better. So go watch those episodes. You can watch them on YouTube on camera where you see the guest. You can also subscribe, which is awesome. We'd love to have you subscribe to that. That's available, again, anywhere where podcasts are available. Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, places and things where stuff happens. We're actually looking for guests. If you know somebody who's involved in traffic safety, if you know somebody who's got a story to tell, if you've got somebody who would make a good guest and you think they should talk to us, well, we're looking for people who want to join us, like Safe Communities, who are out in Brooks, Alberta. They're awesome people, and they are an RCMP detachment, and they do things a little differently out there. We're going to be talking to them soon, filming an episode. Are they going to be episode 4? I don't know. Maybe they'll be episode 5. We'll see. We're going to spin that podcasting dice and find out when they're going to air and when they're available. And hopefully, we can get them to join our live today. Is that something that Safe Communities is ready to do? If so, please message me. Let me know. I think we are, but you need to go live, and then we can bring you in. Sergeant Kulik joins me now on the microphone, not too far from here.
Good morning.
Yeah, you had it. We talked about this at the beginning of the show, but you had a press release that you did, and we put a video out. Do you want to mention the call again for those who may not have heard?
Yeah, just for anybody who hasn't tuned into to it yet. So last night at about 11 p.m. or shortly after 11 p.m., there was a motor vehicle collision involving an e-scooter and a car at Keel Street and Toro Road. in Toronto. And unfortunately, the e-scooter was heading northbound in the curb lane, and a vehicle hit them from behind. And as a result, the operator of the e-scooter sustained life-threatening injuries and is currently in hospital. The car that hit them fled the scene, and so currently we're looking for that vehicle right now. It's described as being a dark-colored vehicle, last seen on northbound on Keele Street. So, obviously with any investigation, we do canvassing for video. We try and get witnesses that were in the area. Maybe you were at the bus stop waiting and saw something. Maybe you have dash cam video, you were in the area, those types of things, or local businesses. So the investigation's ongoing, and we're hoping that it'll come to a conclusion soon, that we'll be able to locate the driver and vehicle involved. But of course, any help we can get from the public is so important.
Absolutely. And there's somebody in a hospital right now who is in need of your help. It's not helping the police, it's helping the person who's a victim of this offense.
For sure. Yeah. And imagine, you always got to put yourself in the other person's shoes too. How would you feel if it was your family member knowing that somebody just left you, there on the side of the road when you're injured?
And this could turn into something much more serious. It can go from simply injuring someone to possibly having this person succumb to their injuries and die, God forbid. And in that case, things get more serious. It's not just a collision, an oopsie-doo. This is serious. This is people's lives we're talking about.
Yeah.
Before we move on, Safe Communities, you don't follow me on my personal account, Voice Over Cop. So I can't send you the message I was trying to send to say, are you good to go? And then we'll bring you in at 10 minutes too. So let me know. Follow me there, Voice Over Cop. Everyone should follow me at Voice Over Cop, because I really occasionally make videos there, but it's like the off-topic stuff. Let's go here. Richard wants to know, can power wheelchairs be charged with a DWI? I think you mean a DUI, or maybe it is a DWI. Maybe it's a different acronym for wherever you are. So if you're driving a wheelchair, operating, if you are in a wheelchair, you're considered a pedestrian, and you can't be charged for drinking and driving while impaired. However, if you're on an e-bike, you can. If you're on a mobility scooter, you can. Basically, anything but a wheelchair that is considered a motor vehicle, and it is considered a motor vehicle under the Canadian Criminal Code, which says anything other than muscular power, except a wheelchair, is a motor vehicle. And that's one of those things that will we arrest everyone for driving their mobility scooter around? I guess every situation is going to be different, but you're eligible. Let's see here. So, good question that hasn't been asked in a while. Can you, what is this? Why do we have to keep our mufflers? Because they're required equipment in the province of Ontario, and I think just about everywhere. I don't know anywhere who says, come buy a car, cut off the stuff that we put on, and then drive around. It makes noise. It is emissions control. It's required.
If it didn't need to be there, it wouldn't be there.
Yeah,
manufacturers for it.
Yeah, manufacturers only put the stuff on the car that they're required to. If there was no law requiring it to sell it in the jurisdiction they were selling it, you probably wouldn't be there because it costs money. It's a thing. Can I tint my windshield? No, you cannot tint your windshield in Ontario. Actually, I think there's only one province that allows you to tint your windshield. I don't recall which province that is, but I did post that on Twitter recently. The deal is that your windshield needs to be visible or clear and available for you to look through without obstruction of any kind. If the vehicle is manufactured before 2017, you can have a sun strip. The sun strip can be no more than 3 inches or 75 millimeters from the top of the windshield down to the PS1 line or whatever happens first. But that's it. That's all you can do. And there's no real excuse or use or need to have a tinted windshield, because they have these magical things called sunglasses that you can wear, and when it's at nighttime, you can take them off. It also doesn't obstruct the view of pedestrians who are trying to look at you to see if you are looking at them, because it's nonverbal communications. That's what we call that. I have a medical card. Can you see into that? What are we talking about? Medical? Are you talking about medical marijuana? What are we talking about? I'm not sure what we're talking about, but I can't find your other question. Oh, apparently New Brunswick is the only province you can have a tinted windshield, and it's still to the maximum of 30%, but as far as I can tell. But I wouldn't do it. Even if I was allowed to, I wouldn't do it.
No, it just doesn't seem as safe.
Not safe. Soft copy of license, is it okay in Ontario? In Ontario, you must surrender your actual license. There is no electronic and a photo doesn't cut it. There's security measures embedded into the driver's license, all sorts of things. Soft copy, what is a soft copy? We're assuming it is a photo or a photocopy. That's what we are assuming you mean by soft copy, because the actual copy is hard. It's a piece of plastic. So Yeah, nothing but the actual driver's license. You can have a photocopy of a ownership document, your permit. You can have an electronic copy of your insurance documents, assuming your company, your provider, gives you them electronically. So if it's going to be an app that you use, but it's not a picture of your insurance card. What is this? Pets in vehicles. Any laws like dogs? Well, they can't be on your lap. You can't be driving around with them on you. Or you should have them either crated or tethered in the rear seat. That is a safe place. Can't have them in the back of a pickup truck. That would be unsafe, inhumane, and just generally illegal. Highway safety gang. What's happening? We've been seeing. I saw you pop in there, and sorry I didn't acknowledge you earlier. But hey, how's it going? I haven't seen. Is it Larry? Was the most active? Is Larry still around? Okay. And by the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service here in Ontario, Canada. I go live Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. talking about traffic safety, traffic law, police stuff, answering your questions. That's what we do. We are the education arm of this whole business called policing in Toronto. We have different units within the building that do reconstruction or enforcement or collision investigations, all sorts of different functions. Ours is focused on education, and if we can prevent something from happening through education, that we've done a great job, and that's what we do all the time. We also engage on social media and with mainstream media. We are media relations officers. Now, what I should do is also mention that Sergeant Melissa Kulik is on a microphone in the not too far away from here, and it is the two of us, just the two of us who work here.
Make it if we... No, we won't go there. Keep our day jobs. Well, me anyways.
Maybe we should turn this into karaoke kind of talent show.
Oh boy.
Or the not so talent show. And Q says,
actually, that might go viral.
That could. That's why there's no dancing here.
Yeah.
I don't want to go viral through dancing. My dancing could end up on TV and bad. Not because it's good, by the way. Are exhaust cutouts legal? No, they are not. A bypass or cutout would be a switch that allows you to port your exhaust directly out, bypassing the exhaust system and emissions controls in some cases, and those would be illegal. Cannot have them. There are vehicles that are sold with track settings. Those, I think, do bypass, and they can only be used on the track. So you can't have it. You can't have it. That's it. Can you report road rage to the police? Absolutely, you can. Depending on what the road rage looks like and who's at risk and when it's happening, it would be for you to determine whether or not that is a 911 call because that's happening right now and you're in fear and it's causing risk of danger, or if it happened and you want to report it after the fact with video and whatnot. And there are forms you can use on our core page. They talk about a driver complaint, and I think that would be the most appropriate, but it may be another way. Would you any suggestions for road rage reports besides the core page? Or
yeah, I think just on the core page there is probably the best way to do it. And also if you have like community complaints such as, living in your neighborhood and cars are blowing stop signs or excessive speeding or whatever it is, you can also go on the web page there and file one for your community, and some officers will come by and take a look.
And that's the whole thing. Once you make that report, it's a legitimate report. It gets assigned to the local division where it occurred for follow-up by an officer. So it's not just sending an email into the ether. It goes to somebody and someone becomes responsible for it. Let's see here. Is there any demerit on crossing emergency vehicle? Is that, I think you mean if you don't pull over or if you just keep driving? There are, I believe it's 6 demerit points, and it comes with a $490 fine, if I'm not mistaken. I might be off by 1 or 2 of something. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many points you get or how much money it is. It's absolutely illegal, and you shouldn't be doing it. If you hear lights and sirens, pull over to the right. If you're in a situation where it's the way it reads is closest curb or edge of roadway. So if you're on a multi-lane highway and there's a left shoulder, it's faster for you to go to the left and try and get over 6 lanes. But if you're on an average city road, move over to the side, get to the right as best you can so police, fire, and ambulance can get to where they're going safely. They may be going to help somebody and it could be to save them, to help them, to put out a fire. At the end of the day, they all need to get to where they're going to save the day in their own special way. Can you tell I have kids? Yeah, that was my Paw Patrol reference. Let's see here. 5% tint okay in Toronto? Absolutely not. No, there would be points for that. 5% tint means that 95% of light is stopped. 5% tint is 5% of light getting through. 30% is the maximum amount of light blockage you can have, meaning 70% of light must get through. If you want more information on tint, check out our tint video that's in our FAQ playlist. I should reference this way more, but we have a FAQ playlist for a bunch of those, and I should see if there's some more videos that should be put on that list, because we talk about tint a lot. Okay, what is this? Are you education only, or are you on the road as well? I used to be a member of the Motor Squad. I had a crash in 2018, and I'm still recovering from that crash. So I'm not on the road, but my education goes now, by way of the I was going to say sound waves, but it's really the internet bits and bytes and the interwebs. I'm a desk riding guy for the most part. I occasionally get to see the sky and trees when there's opportunities to go outside, but there are fewer and thing.
And you have to remember the education portion is almost as or just as important as actually going out there and enforcing the rules. Because if we can prevent someone from getting a ticket or making a poor decision, then we've done our jobs. So, Sean is an integral part of this unit and spent many years out there as a frontline police officer, and maybe will again one day. But at this point, when you have an injury that's sustained at work, you have to find alternate ways to do your job. And this has proven to be really successful. And he's a great ambassador for our service.
Thank you very much.
So.
I like to say that I got into this I got into this job by accident. It's the only time I get to say accident in relation to a collision. But it wasn't planned. I didn't ever think I'd be the guy sitting in front of a camera talking to y'all and answering questions. But it's fantastic. Because I used to go to these trade shows. We used to go to the boat show and the motorcycle show, and we go in and have these conversations one-on-one. So instead of talking one-on-one, and it's nothing wrong with that either. I enjoy meeting new people. It's fun. But here I'm speaking to 211 people right now in the chat, and we've had as many as 16, 2,500. What was the max? I think about 2,500 was the max. But in any case, we have routinely had 26, 27,000 people pop through our live. Lately, I think the algorithm did a little zigzag, and we've been having, on average, about 10,000 people in our live. So pretty cool. Oh, Q has a very specific number. Apparently, the maximum number of people we've ever had in a live at a single moment was 2,753. I don't think we've ever come close to that again, but it's been pretty awesome. Maybe it's the time of day. Maybe we need to, do 9 p.m. I'm not going to be here at 9 p.m. I'm sorry.
That's past my bedtime.
No kidding. 9:30. I was seeing double and crawling into bed. Let's see here. Did the speed limit change on our highway? The speed limit changed on certain sections of highway that were announced by the Ministry of Transportation. There's a very short stretch on the 404, about 16 kilometers long, that is now 110 kilometers. I don't know all of the areas because there's only one of them that I would be personally using. You can get that list by going and checking it out on the MTO website. You can also look at the MTO on Twitter. Hey, while you're there, you should follow us. We're Traffic Services on Twitter. We announce things like every day as to where the Vision Zero enforcement team is going to be focusing their efforts. There are good reasons to be on our Twitter. So subscribe to us, follow us, and follow us everywhere. We're on Instagram at Traffic Services Toronto. We are on Twitch at Traffic Services. Mind you, you're already seeing us, so Twitch is just a duplicate. It's the same thing at the same time, but it's good. Okay. Apparently, the 2,753 top was the most hectic time in our moderators' careers as moderators.
And thank God for our moderators.
Yes.
They keep everything, on the up and up for us and take care of us. So
Truly.
all the behind the scenes stuff.
They make it possible for us to concentrate on the information. So thank you very much. If you're a moderator and you're listening, because they can't always be here all the time, but they really, for a year, more, is it a year and a half, Q? We're over a year and a half. No? A year. Just a year? It feels like forever. No. It's a year since the moderators have joined our lives.
It'll be a year in 1 month's time that I've been live on air with you, but it's been a year and 2 months since I've been here.
Wow. And
amazing.
It is cool. And we've had different people jump in and jump out, and we have a core that are just, diehard moderators. Thank you very much to you. To those of you who have answered the call for service, and spend time in the chat, which can be very abusive. There's some very mean people on different platforms who really get their blood boiling, and it's not cool. It's not cool.
We want positive vibes here. We want people to learn. It should be a safe environment.
Maybe we should change the title from Ask a Traffic Cop to Positive Vibes. Let's see what happens. Let's see, a question here. Why do we have to keep our mufflers? I thought we covered this already. Because it's required equipment, because not having a muffler makes noise, and noise is not permitted. So that's ultimately why.
Yep.
I think that also mufflers control smoke in addition to noise. So yeah, that's why. That is why. Okay. Can a G2 driver drive without insurance? Let's be clear. Insurance is on a vehicle, not a driver, and every motor vehicle operating in the province of Ontario must have insurance. There is something called the Compulsory Automobile Insurance Act. It says that every vehicle has to have insurance. So, yes, a vehicle must be insured to be on the road. Can a G2 driver who's not listed on a policy operate a motor vehicle? Yes. However, there may be specifics that are outlined based on the insurance company. They may say if you live with the person who owns the vehicle, then you have to be listed because you're more than lending the vehicle for an occasional use. Even if you're lending you can't buy a car, insure it, and then just give it to somebody else to drive all the time. That makes you a regular driver, and they may deny you a claim if you violate the contract that you have with them. From a legal perspective, from a police perspective, if we pull you over and you're not the person who's listed on the ownership, does that mean you can't drive it? No, you can drive it if you're licensed to drive that class of vehicle. So I just want to make that clear. You can drive any vehicle as long as you are licensed and the vehicle is insured. But other things may happen if you're violating rules of the insurance company.
And just contact your insurance company, right? Ask them,
Yeah.
or whoever's vehicle you're going to be borrowing, if that's the case. Then find out what the regulations are.
Yeah, the last people in the world that you want to upset are the people who pay your bills when you get hurt or when your vehicle gets wiped out and they need to pay for another $50,000, $80,000, $100,000, $20,000. I don't have that kind of money lying
And you'd
around.
hate for them not to cover you, right?
something as simple-
That's a huge
Yeah.
issue.
and something like some people put in and say that they have snow tires and then they never put them on, and then they get denied a claim because they were getting a discount for their insurance because they said they had snow tires, or they put on that they don't have tinted windows, or they don't disclose that they've modified their vehicle, and then the insurance company finds out when they own the car and look at it, they go, hey, this isn't what we listed as insuring. And then they say no. Lots of stories about that, and it's not fun. So if you're going to be honest with somebody, be honest with your insurance company. You may pay a couple bucks extra, but you will save yourself lots of
It'll be worth
heartache
it in the
later.
long end.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're ready to go live. Cool. Well, let's answer this question, and then we'll move into it. Green lights. Are they undercover firefighters? They are not undercover firefighters. They are in fact firefighters, volunteer firefighters who are on the way to a call. If they're using green lights on their dash or on their vehicle, that is asking you to get out of the way so they can go save the day in their own special way. It's not a law that you have to pull over, but it is a courtesy. And think about it. They're on their way to volunteer and help someone in need. That is the best thing that you can do, is get out of the way.
And you may not see them in the big cities, but definitely in rural Ontario and in the GTA proper, you'll see them frequently.
Absolutely. Now, I see here, I'm told that Safe Communities is ready. I was just going to invite to co-host. Let's see here. Is this going to work? If we're going to hit Safe Communities. Now, I'm going to apologize to the people on Instagram. I don't think you're going to see one guest request. Oh, I see. That's what it is. But see, they're coming as a guest. I want to have them as a co-host. So let's see if we can connect, and then we're going to do another. Q&A works now when you have a guest? No way. Receiving live. Yeah, we know that. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to turn off Safe Communities. We're going to try this as a co-host. You have to go live first, and then we can have you join. And maybe that'll work. So you need to go live, and then we can select. We're going to have them come in as soon as they can because they're going to join us for a few minutes, and then they're going to do a live, and you should totally join. I also see that TPS coach, Jairus, he changed his name from TPS Shrekky. What's going on here? The world is changing beneath me. I don't understand what's going on. Okay, we're going to refresh. Except the host invited you to, hey, it worked. It's working.
Woo, woo.
Except we don't hear you. Hang on a second. Why don't we hear you? I have to turn this up maybe. Can we hear you now?
Hello.
Hey there. How's it
Hey.
going?
Good morning,
That's-
friends. It's
it's-
going well out here.
It's Josh. And Josh, and we've got everybody. Kendra, what's going on? Kendra is here too, of course, because Kendra's holding the camera, the master in control of the whole operation. What's happening?
That's right here. I can look at you, wonderful people.
Hang on, I'm going to turn off this this little special. 1 second. What's going on here? How do I get rid of my?
I like it. Looking good so far.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going
You're
on
gonna
here.
end up with like a cat face on you or something here.
All right, I just wanted to make it like so I can compete for size. I'm bigger now.
Pushing pics. Oh, thanks. That's so nice.
What's happening? Long time no see.
I know it's been a tumultuous few months out here in southern Alberta, but we're good now. So we're back, and life is going back to normal as it was before. Knock on wood, real quick.
Yeah, awesome, and you've got coffee. Hang on, I feel bad. I need coffee too.
And what's the weather doing out there?
We're sitting at a balmy like plus 15ish right now.
Oh,
so-
hey.
That's not bad. I'd take that.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's doing well out here. How about you guys? How are things in the big smoke?
The big smoke is smoky. No, what's going on here? We're just plugging away. We're having fun doing our live, and I hopped onto your live yesterday. I got to see what was going on when you were driving around with the guy who isn't Josh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were with Devin yesterday, weren't you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, it was nice. It was very cool. Oh, somebody doesn't like. Someone says that what is this biggest waste of taxpayer money right here? They obviously don't realize what's going on.
That's right.
Right?
Think of us right now. We're modernizing the concept of a foot patrol right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Digitizing foot patrol. This is their one-on-one time right now. Ask that burning question you've always wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. We used to do trade shows like crazy. We go to the boat show and the motorcycle show, and we talk to people, and we repeat the same question in a lineup. We talk, and everyone wants to know the same thing. And here we're speaking to hundreds of people at the same time, and not only throughout our province, but throughout Canada and the United States. We have people from all over the world who tune in.
Well, we just got someone here saying hello from Germany. So, guten Tag, my friend. Good to see you here. That's actually a good question to toss out to anyone else in the chat here. Where's everyone coming in from? Who are we talking to? Don't send us your address. We don't want to send you a postcard or anything. We just want to know where it is that you're coming in.
General area.
General area.
Everyone wants to know what your guys' preference is: McDonald's coffee, Tim's coffee, or Starbucks.
My answer,
So,
McDonald's for me.
what do you got, Sean?
caffeine. I prefer caffeine when I need it.
Mine is where's the shortest line?
I'm down with that.
Today
True.
we were going past Tim Hortons, both of them lined up to the road. So McDonald's is just as good for me.
See, I start my day with some Costco K-Cup, and then if I haven't finished it, then it stays warm in my little container here. The walking distance one to the office is going to be at Timmy's, but it really depends on what's closest. And I also have my Nespresso machine here, so I've got coffee from every different flavor and every different supplier. I do not swear by one and only. It's whichever one is closest.
Sir, did you say Nespresso? Are we talking to the elite here? I didn't
Fancy
realize that.
schmancy.
I might have to request an autograph for this. You and George Clooney.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. I forgot about that. Some of the best commercials ever put on the air were those Nespresso commercials with Clooney. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to see here. Oh, and we have our friend from Australia who says McDonald's for me because I'm Australian and it's his future job. He's going to work at McDonald's.
Oh, excellent.
Love it.
Love it.
Be the best employee you can be, brother.
And then we've got a comment here saying that Nespresso isn't that expensive, to be honest, he says. So
That's true, but they just look so classy, right?
It's fancy. And if you saw my Instagram, if you went to VoiceOver Cop, my Instagram, I posted 2 different Nespresso coffees. And this is from the Virtuo line. So it has that crema, which means bubbles, I think, in some language.
Oh.
And my stir stick will stand up on its own. It's very funky. It's very funky. Not very traffic related.
Here's a traffic related one because I just saw this pop up in the questions there. This one always gets me. How many times have you pulled someone over for speeding and they said they just had to go take a poop?
I did a video on that.
Did you really?
Well, so my story is that I had someone who was going quite above the speed limit, and I pulled them over. That was their excuse. I said, "Listen, there is one not too far away. There's a gas station. Give me your license, ownership, and insurance, and I'll follow you there." And that's exactly what I did. So he spent 15 minutes probably staring out the door, looking at me, and I wrote his tickets up. And when he was finished, he came out, he got his tickets, and he was shocked. He was like, "Really?" But I was my best excuse. Yeah, he got his ticket anyway.
People come up with the most awesome excuses over the years, but
It's phenomenal.
high five for trying, right?
We got a question. I don't know if you can see the same questions. It used to be on TikTok. You could only see the ones that came through from your viewers. I don't know if we're mixed at this moment, but they want to know the difference between the RCMP, sheriffs, and peace officers, and which is the most best.
Oh.
Well, I think the most best, that's a pretty subjective one, right? For whatever it is that your personal goals are, right? So I know, speaking to people that want to strictly, for us, like out here in Alberta, sheriffs are mainly traffic and...
Oh, we lost your audio. We can't hear you. I don't know what happened.
Hello?
Hello? We can't hear you. Oh, now they're, oh.
Are they going through the
about
Rocky
that?
Mountains?
Oh, you're back now.
Okay.
You're back now. We
back?
had a video. We're a little out of sync, but it seems to be back.
Good. Perfect. I think we had a call come in, that's why.
Ah, yes, that
So
tends
for us, it all
to mess
depends.
things up.
Yeah. So out in Alberta, we don't have the designation of special constable, and I think like for special constable would be the translation over for a peace officer, like a community peace officer, like Logan or Devin, who you got to chat with yesterday. So for that, you're hired specifically by your municipality or the city to enforce provincial traffic laws as well as bylaws for that town, community, or county. And that's it, right? So they don't have that extra added of criminal code investigations that you or myself would do, right, with policing. So if you just want to have that role and focus on your own community safety and bettering your own community, perfect spot for you, right? And if you want to take on that extra added responsibility or step of dealing with the criminal investigation process, that's where out here RCMP would come in, right? So the way I look at it, so myself being from Ontario, we're the OPP, right? Wherever you see OPP in Ontario, that would be the equivalent to out here.
Right on.
And then sheriffs are strictly highway patrol and court security.
Cool. And we do, so we have our functions are a little different. We have our own court security. We have our own parking officers. And the police do everything in between in terms of criminal investigations, traffic investigations. And then, of course, we have the OPP, and we have you guys who come through once in a while with the Prime Minister.
Yeah, there you go. Toronto Police Service, TPS does it all. You guys got it covered.
And we're a big service.
Arrested, but this time by Josh. I am not arrested, still in the front seats, and I'm still not an undercover officer. That was the two themes of yesterday.
Yes, and of course they want to know where you bought your clothes.
Yes, everyone. I don't know why that's a thing now. Everyone wants to know what I'm wearing. Today's a B positive or B kind.
Be positive. She's got a be kind, a bumblebee on her. By the way, Melissa Kulik, a sergeant in my office, is off on the side here, not on camera, but on microphone in case you didn't meet. But
so good morning, Sarge. I hope you're having a wonderful day as well.
Thanks, you too.
So Kendra, are you going to create a separate channel now, just to, what I'm wearing today Instagram feed? I'm sure that
I'm going to, but it's gonna every day. It's gonna say what is the unit wearing, and it'll be everyone's wearing the exact same thing every day except me.
It'd be very boring for the three of us.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Right?
that would make an interesting time lapse where you just took a frame every day and the uniform, and the only thing that would change is you. I think that'd be brilliant. We got a.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could go from long sleeve to short sleeve depending if it's chilly or
Or
not.
a
Right?
sweater.
So we do have some nice sweaters.
Oh, the sweaters are. We got polar fleece now. We're fancy. It only took us 20 years after everybody else. Wait, you don't have polar fleece? Are we ahead of the game?
You are, for sure. We do have those like North Face style jackets. I don't like the what were they like the.
Maybe that's what we're talking about. Maybe that's the same as what we got.
Soft shell. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
soft shell.
Yeah, I guarantee that's actually now.
So we kind of have the same thing.
Yeah.
So OV Police says, "Oh my God, it shot at my buddy Josh."
Look at this. Look at this.
This is why, well, we've tried this before, but we had technical difficulties, so I'm glad it's actually working today.
We've all come a long way.
Yes, it's amazing. And you guys are really, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the one thing while we're still talking about clothes that I'm always jealous is I think I've seen you wear it before. You guys have the turtlenecks that say TPS on it, right?
They're actually, what do they call them? Dickies, the mock turtleneck, where you just stuff them inside your
Dickies.
shirt.
Nice.
Yes. That's
amazing.
the fact that we don't have to wear ties was a wonderful thing for me. There's very little I like less than ties.
Yeah, my first year in the RCMP, they changed this in 2008. You could only wear short sleeves once you're detachment commander, so your staff sergeant or sergeant told you could.
Wow.
So like you had, and when you had long sleeves, you had to wear a tie. So that was a tough first year there with that.
Well, our rules used to be, it was what was it? You couldn't wear a long sleeve in the winter, because you had to wear a tie. if you wore a long sleeve. And then you could wear a long sleeve without a tie if you were on a motorcycle because of skin cancer issues. And I think that it opened up for everybody. But that was the deal. Long sleeve was tie only for the longest time. And then they changed it, which was great, which I wore short sleeves in the dead of winter. I'm always short sleeves.
I never wear long sleeves. Even when I was on the watch, like working nights, never.
We got a question here. Is the RCMP hiring?
Always, nonstop.
Yeah.
Well, we're hiring too. He's got an application form here.
Poster right here. Career like no other. 150 different career positions.
Right on. And we're hiring too if you're in Ontario. If you want to be a member of the Toronto Police, it's www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers or tps.on.ca/careers.
The whole thing memorized.
It's my website. We say it all the time. Really, the only thing that changes is the word careers.
And why do we all have to have insanely long email addresses, hey? Like, why can't it just be a nice, short, and easy
Well,
one? But
we finally got into tps.ca for an email abbreviation, but it only works certain times. I think it's tps.ca, but I don't want to get you a website that might get an error, so I give the long one because I've been saying it for 22 years.
So, like with us, our email addresses, so mine would be joshua.argue@rcmp-grc.gc.ca.
I'm never emailing you. You know that. I'm going to use your Hotmail.
Yeah, that's right. And here's a shameless plug or a good plug for you. So if you want to have all the different opportunities that you would like in the RCMP, like we said, we have 150 different positions. Toronto's probably very close to that with the amount of different units you have, and you don't have to move.
Yeah, because what happens if you join the RCMP? Are you automatically being shipped off somewhere else, or where would you most likely be deployed?
Yeah, so for sure on your first post, like you're not going home, and there's a chance you might not even go back to your home province, right? So, like for myself, coming from Ontario, I was posted out in Alberta. Now it's worked out great, and I hope no one in staffing is watching this because I finishing my career here in Brooks where I started it. Right, I have 10 more I can go, and I think I can definitely do that here. So
you don't want them to think you're having fun and then automatically transfer you.
That's right. I have to tell them I'm having a miserable time, so please leave me. But no, it's usually on average in the RCMP every 3 to 5 years you have the opportunity, if you'd like, to request to transfer somewhere.
Right on. So you put in your time and then you potentially can move your way back.
Yeah, and then usually the more, and if you want to go, like the hardest provinces are obviously Ontario East. So to get back to just due to the fact that there's not that many numbers of positions available. So what a lot of people do is called like the Northern Passage. So you take a transfer up to Northwest Territories or none of it. Yukon really doesn't count for it. So if you can do your 3 to 4 years in either of those two territories, you're usually guaranteed to go to whichever division you want to.
Okay, I understand that it snows there on occasion.
Yeah, it snows.
He was
there
drinking coffee when he did it.
Sometimes warms up to above minus 20.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to be working in the city of Toronto, but we do have a tremendous number of opportunities. And you're right. You get where you start your career is essentially where you can end your career, save and except for taking up opportunities in different divisions. I started in a police division and then applied to become a specialist in traffic, which was a citywide unit. And I'm having a good time. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Right. I'm right now in the running the community police unit. That's where my passion is, and I could just say if they let me stay here and just keep doing what we're doing, and as long as we're doing new and interesting things, I think that's the big point, right? But because we have Kendra here, she's definitely helping us get to that next level on everything we do, which is great.
That's awesome. You guys, what do you have? 333,000 followers now on your account? That's awesome.
Right, yeah, 333.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We're gonna come up with a to get us up over 400, and then if we can do that in a month, and we'll.
I know that one got us like 100,000 followers, and we didn't even get to do it. Our thing was that if we passed a certain amount of followers by this past Christmas, that Josh would replace me for a month as the unit social worker and do like mental health check-ins with everyone and everything like that. But then, in true RCMP fashion, things got shuffled around, and we didn't get a chance to do that. So we're gonna have to come up with a new thing.
A new challenge.
A year ago, well, probably like 9 months now at this point,
Yeah.
and so excited and paste this big poster up on the wall. We have it's a feelings wheel. So when we do these check-ins in the morning and afternoon before we go home, we check in on what color we are and then which emotion and sub-emotion we're feeling within that piece of the pie.
For a solid month, I wouldn't let anyone pour a cup of coffee till they pointed on the wheel what they felt.
We're not doing this, right?
No.
Okay, good. That's not something I want to adopt here.
bottle that stuff up. No, I'm kidding. We don't. I'm very, very big advocate of reaching out for mental health supports and resources. Don't want anyone that's listening or having a conversation to think otherwise.
Cool. Well, I think we should do these check-ins so we can make sure we're both all doing well on a regular basis. When can we do this again?
You tell me.
Well,
we're both Monday to Friday, right? So we're
yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday mornings are probably our best, which would be anytime between 9 and noon.
because you guys they're 2 hours behind us. So
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
What's the future like, guys?
It's so far so good, but I'm hungry. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. Are you hungry? I have a prediction. You will get hungry when you get to this time.
I mean, it is 11:11 your time, so make a wish. Maybe you can eat.
Okay. Well, at very least, I'm going to re-up my coffee.
Some people want to know between the RCMP and Toronto Police Services if you guys do ride-alongs. Do you guys want to answer that first?
Well, we used to do ride-alongs. But they're all on a case-by-case basis. There's no just walk in and jump in a police car. There's background checks involved, and there has to be a reason. During the pandemic, we didn't do any, and I don't know what the process is or if it's jumped back into to happening. Generally speaking, it's only sergeants or not frontline officers, direct frontline officers that would be taking somebody in the car with them.
So for us, it's kind of the same thing. Like it's you do have to come in and do a quick little background check, but we can do it. It's not like you're getting a criminal record check. And then obviously you sign the waivers. And due to the fun-sucking pandemic we've all lived through the last few years, it was put on the back burner. But my understanding is we are able to now.
Cool.
And we're the same word. There has to be a purpose. So you have to be someone who's interested in policing or in the process of getting hired by a police agency to do them. That being said, we are running a youth police academy this summer, and part of that is they get to do like a 15-20 minute ride along with us throughout the community.
That's exciting stuff. I've got to do a whole research thing and find out what the story is. My thing is my ride along is right here. I live behind this desk. I have a pillow. That's it. This is as much fun as we have. There is a question from Island Speed. How difficult is it to earn a challenge coin? Do you guys have challenge coins for your detachment?
We do have challenge coins for the detachment.
We've been talking. I got to send you one of ours. You guys, we got to do that trade we talked about.
Yeah, I still got to send you my hat.
Wait, you got have you got the Stetson still?
I can't give that. I got to keep that.
Okay, fine.
I'll give you our nice size toques that we have.
Toques for all the Americans who are watching.
Yeah. Beanie, maybe they call them beanies down there, I guess.
I'm not sure. Officer Kane is watching. He's coming, saying hello. Just scrolling through to see. I don't want to exclude anybody, but we got to get going in a second. I want to make sure we say hello to everybody who's regular and popping in. By the way, if you don't already follow Safe Communities, you should. They run lives. They have great information and talk about all the benefits of writing lots of tickets. That was the video that got you the 100,000, right?
Which one was that?
The quotas or when I was asking about toasters?
Oh, that's if officers make commission on
Yes.
the tickets they write.
Yeah, that was a good one there too. Honestly, the ones that we get the most success for, and I absolutely love it, are we're talking about harm reduction, right? And like how officers in the RCMP will all carry naloxone spray.
Okay.
Spray on us, and the Good Samaritan Act that if someone is overdosing, you call 911. We show up, and there is amounts that would be simple possession. It's just a no case seizure. Nobody gets charged because people's lives do matter more than a criminal code charge. I know some people find that weird, but it's very much a true fact, right? So that was probably our most successful one. I think we had 7.3 million views on that one, and that gave us like a ton of followers for sure.
Okay, let's see here. Josh, what was it? Ask Josh when was the last time he arrested somebody. Bruce wants to know.
Bruce, it was actually 2 days ago. Or not last night. Yeah, 2 nights ago there. We have a prolific graffiti artist, or not artist, I don't want to give him that title, around town, and we actually did a little bit of a night op on bikes, and we actually were able to find them, and so I have arrested somebody recently. Before that, though, it's been a little while.
Oh, it's been a while for me. I can tell you that. Jackie wants to know, or actually, sorry, Jackie says, thank you all police officers for the work you do. I appreciate you all.
Thanks, Jackie.
Awesome.
That's really
Jackie.
kind.
And okay, and I think we're up to date now. We got a bunch of people who joined. If you don't already follow Safe Communities, please do. And if you don't follow us, please follow us. And we'll be back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and we'll make a schedule. We'll do this on a regular. And let me know when we can do a podcast because we got TPS Traffic Jam. That's our
Yes.
10
yeah.
a.m. 10 a.m.
10 a.m. 10 a.m. What 10 a.m.?
You said 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's 10 a.m.
Oh, 10 a.m. Thank you. See, Q's here monitoring to make sure I don't make mistakes. But
Yeah,
yes,
keep it
11 a.m. Eastern time. I'm traveling through, as a time traveler right now, I'm in flux, so I was picking in between.
Stuff, yeah. No, that sounds like that'll be a blast. And I think actually, if you're hopping off, we'll hop off too, but come back on shortly. So make sure anyone who's watching here has their notifications on.
Sounds good. All right, have a
Yeah.
wonderful day. Be safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too. Make some good
Goodbye,
choices out there,
Alberta.
guys. That's right.
Take it easy. Oh, that's always awesome. You know, we tried once before. It didn't work. Oh, this is really zoomy. Woo. Okay. It's a very yellow. Yeah, it's going to turn sideways. How's this going to work? Okay, we're just going to do this because I'm not going to worry about it. We are going to be signing off now. That was a nice little chat with our friends at Brooks, Alberta, Safe Communities. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I was going to say 11 again. Why? I don't know. Okay, have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Be well. And we're out of here.
Take care.
10, 9, 8,
10 a.m.
7,
Bye.
10 a.m. 10 a.m.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.